first paying Dreadful tournament of season 19. Your competitors are, let's see. Let's see. We got Neoform Hermit, Azorius Wave. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Um. Oh, we got In the Dragons. We're gonna watch the Is It Dragons list, of course. Uh, Is It Dragons? Um. Dang it. Sorry, I'm really slow right now. Blue White Control. Who's Gallon playing? Another Hermit deck. This time the Oops All Spells deck. Merpatty is playing. Merpatty's playing also Azorius Wave. So two Azorius Waves. Um, Littlefield. Drew gets Littlefield playing Heroic, I believe, Mono White Heroic. And then, so we're gonna watch this match though. Glenn Ladoc playing Cat Oven versus the In the Dragon list. We'll put a quick prediction. Um, you have 2 minutes to decide who's gonna win this game. Uh, it sucks that you're already like seeing some things happen, but like you can bet anyway. So go ahead and try to report. You're so mad. Really though, if you're not rooting for It's Dragons, I don't know what you're doing. Um, Counterspell. Silmar Soren got a new friend in Counterspell. But yeah, very like Is It Dragons based. Thunderbreak Regent, Glorybringer, Niv the Firemind, Varix Bladewing. Niv going with Curiosity, just a one of. And I'll call Sarkin the Masterless, but kind of like a sort of mid range, sort of like blue red control esque deck. Dragon's Horde a four of in this list. Why not? On the other side, Glenadoc playing Mono Black, Cat Oven. Kind of like an aristocratic style of build. Call to Familiar, which is Oven, we're pretty familiar with that by now. But also playing some like zombie aspects here. Undead Augur, going with. It's kind of weird. Undead Augur can like why is Undead Augur in this list? They're not even playing Putrid. This is really bad. So they're playing Undead Augur, but not playing very many zombies. This is interesting. They do have Blood Artists and Slingling Lieutenant, so that's pretty cool. But there's not a big zombie theme, so I'm not really sure what's going on with this guy. They did no Putrid Imp, which I don't know if it's legal or not, but yeah. Is the Putrid Goblin not legal? It's legal. And here's the Blood Artist. I think it's if there's any card that makes this like archetype really good, it's actually Blood Artist. All right, Mesmeric Fiend with the Witch's Oven here. What season? What was the season where I played that Goblin Aristocrat deck? The hell season was that? 15? That was a fun. That was a fun deck. No, it wasn't 15. It wasn't 15. It was definitely like 16 to 17. I played like man. I never. I made it to the finals. What did I lose to? I lost to Mono Red. Really? Oh, no more Defile. All right, here's a nice little hymn. I would scorn this. Oh, I guess I could just pay one. I don't know. Did they reveal a dragon? I don't think they revealed a dragon. So they decided to pay one. So they got super hymned. I guess. I guess they had one other card in their hand, the Sweltering Suns. Seems like a super hymn. I want to play this deck, but as goblins. I have an idea. I have an idea. Oh, this deck's really recurrent nightmare though. Never mind. I don't have recurrent nightmare anymore. I do have like 8 blood artists or something. Is cutthroat legal too? Zulbar cutthroat and blood artists are both legal. This is crazy. Why am I just playing like 8 blood artists aristocrats? I'm actually so surprised the deck doesn't even play cutthroat either. Oh man, they went for the Tomb of Arami token. This is actually a beastie looking token. This is definitely all in approach. Um, this gets destroyed by so many things, like a bounce spell or something. I don't know. Funnily enough, um, this blue red deck actually has no way of killing this without a single spell can't kill it. So it'd have to be like 2 spells that kill it, like a double draconic roar or something like that. This is a very all in. This is a very all in approach. Okay, they made another token. I guess the Dragon Horde's gonna keep drawing cards. They can't even really attack, honestly. I don't know if this is. I guess you're stalling with a bunch of ovens and cats, so this is really eating a lot of time. I think I'm just playing aristocrats. There's 8 blood artists. We have both blood artists. All right, Niv Mizzet might mean it's just over. I don't even like this attack because you never want to like double block this guy. Oh, they got. Oh, they got. No one suspects Dragon's Horde plus Niv at the Fire Mind. No one. First top 8. 2 Azorius Wave. 1 Mono White Heroic. 1 Oops All Spells deck. 1 Sultai Neoform Hermit deck. Um, what was the other match? What was the other deck? I remembered. Um, 1 Blue White Control. And then this matchup. Cat Mono Black Cat Oven versus Blue Red Dragons. Obviously what we all expected. I guess the least unsuspecting thing are the breakfast decks and the and the wave decks. I think those are like probably like in the top echelon. Yeah, apparently if you jam 8 counterspells, your deck's pretty good. You mix counterspell with Silumgar's Scorn and a bunch of dragons. I think you have a deck. Seems like a deck. Seems like a fun time. The Cat Oven player went for the Hail Mary at 13 life. Went for the Hail Mary 2 Varami, facing like a 3/3 dragon. It was kind of silly, honestly. All right, Blue Red Dragon's gonna win game one, kind of easily. Game two, they could bring in even more removal from the Idit deck. Scrabbling Claw's pretty okay against, I guess, Calder if they get him in a weird spot. Um, they can Raven form these these Witches Ovens. That'd be funny. Sweltering Sun's extra like kind of Wrath effects, which I don't really want to Wrath this deck. Oh, you can play Grave Pact too. That's right. Grave Pact is legal. Oh god. Um, the the mono black deck here is sideboard and Dark Rituals. That's so funny. They have a very interesting sideboard. Marrow Shards is legal. That's pretty good against like 8 whack. I don't know if people played 8 whack decks. You probably want to just play a bunch of Shriek Maws and maybe like Lost Legacy, some dragons. That might be good enough. What's really stopping me from playing like one of the better aristocrat decks without recurring nightmare? I'm kind of stuck on like looking at future goblin and thinking, oh, zombie goblin, and I could just, but my brain's like stuck at zombie goblin and slinging lieutenant. I thought you were playing Earnest Fellowship or something. You could sorcerer spyglass a wave, maybe. I don't know. Oh, you have sorcerer spyglass already. Yeah, we got Earnest Fellowship. Earnest Fellowship. Yeah, I know what they're playing too. It's very silly. It's just a very ribbons deck, which doesn't really say much. All right, Mesmeric Fiend, which Witch's Oven is pretty a pretty fun time. So we'll trigger on this deck here with all the weird nightmare cards. They get to exile the card forever. They got the Glorybringer. They're showing land, 2 Dragon Swords, counterspell Silumgar Scorn. Spikefield Hazard the cat, yeah. That'd be good if they had Spikefield Hazard, for sure. Garza's Assassin, yeah. Gets counterspelled, though. Why don't you play Once played Miss Metal Skulker or whatever. The guy has like protection from CMC 3 or greater. That gets around Reflector Mage, Parallax Wave. I think it's Miss Metal's. It just passes through all the stuff. All right, Cat Oven Grim Harvestback's always a good time. Man, double horde. See if they recover. Aw. Oh, they did recover it. They paid like 10 life to recover that. All right, Breakfast has defeated one of the wave decks. Another wave deck going on, beating Mono White Heroic. At least his top eight's going fast. Blue White versus the Oops All Spells deck is still going on. Oh, you haven't lost yet? I thought it was over. I'm sorry. You're just still frustrated. Okay. My bad. You're just mid talking. Oh. Yeah, I'll do it. Wait, oh, I closed that Scryfall search. It's such a weird, like, Underdog is just kind of here. So it's really interesting. Like, they have horror specs Oven Cat, which is pretty great, but the Augur is just kind of here. There's no other zombie in the deck other than Undead Augur. It's kind of a weird inclusion. All right. Hard casted Shriek Maw. It's gonna try to take out the Fire Mine here. All right, going to game three. Tattoo Ward. Yeah, I don't know. I just like I don't mind the cat oven stuff, but I don't really the other cards are just kind of like a weird. They're not trying to like sack their creatures just to like dome them with Blood Artists. Although you could certainly do that, but it's like they're not trying to do it. Wonder if we could just play like black white with splashing like rally ancestors. Wait, rally. Wait, I don't know. I don't know what rally ancestors really does sometimes. Okay, each. Okay, so it's four. In Immortal Turbo 2 is five, so counterspell. I like that. You would have taken the card anyway, so you might as well just get rid of it. Keep your hand in a little mystery. This is a good start if you're an Is It fan. The board's just clear of stuff. I guess we're one cat away from kind of like doing some nonsense. Dragon's Horde at least ramps. It does add one of any color, so it eventually draws cards. All right, there's the cat oven. No counterspell. It's hard to really counter a cat anyway. But they played a land? Wow, they wanted to get the four lands. Or here's Sarkin. Probably gonna make a dragon. Sarkin will be pretty good at kind of racing this cat. Um, Actually, Sarkin and the dragon itself would be pretty good. Like 8 damage coming your way. Mortician Beetle. Oh no, Mortician Beetle plus the familiar is gonna be kind of silly. It's gonna gain 2 counters a turn. The Shriekmaw. Shriekmaw can take out the dragon. This is pretty decent. Then the familiar can actually attack the Sarkin. Get it down to one. Wonder if it was better or worse if they can play something like a Gatekeeper. Because Mortician Beetle triggers any creature or any player that sacrifices. I wonder if just like Gatekeeper is better. Ooh, Glory Be. Here it comes. It's gonna just probably destroy his Mortician Beetle before he gets out of hand. Big damage. Not gonna lie. What? How did I play this? Hold on. Sorry, give me a second. Something happened to the site. I have to look at it. What is season 8? When did I play that? I didn't remember playing this. Sorry about that. These dragons coming in. And now the Scrabbling Claws can slowly eat away from the graveyard. Not that it matters with Double Oven. The heroic struggles. It was real. Ooh, and oh, this is the craziest looking Thunderbreak region. Look at this thing. This is a person that loves dragons. What? I don't know what model I can do from here. I actually really don't know what they can do. They'd have to like kill these creatures, but then the Thunderbreak region will take care of like all sorts of direct damage or direct kill spells. All right, slinging not bad. I don't know if they would live though through this. They just scorned anyway. Good old counterspell. All right, is it dragons in the top four? Yeah, I mean, like the idea of this. I think there's a lot of like stuff going on for Mono Black Aristocrats, but this deck is just like a lot of cards. I think like they're trying. I feel like they're trying a lot of different cards, but good enough to make it in the top eight. Shouts to the believers. The Is It Dragon deck. That's called hard work and perseverance, really. Angels and Dragons sounds like a really cool fantasy novel. It's a very actually it's like a very bland fantasy novel. Angels and Dragons. Imagine that book cover, just Angels and Dragons. Let me in. Let me in. All right, game three. We'll try to bet really quick. Game three. Another random prediction. Continue to waste your money. Game three. The cursed matchup. Mono White Heroic versus Azorius Wave. Who knows what will win? I don't know. The stats say that Wave always wins this matchup, but we'll see. Blue White Wave gonna be going first. This is game three. The winner moves on to the semifinals. Hedge your bets. You might lose the battle, but you'll win the war of Mecha Bucks. That's for sure. Yeah, so it's Blue White Wave deck if no one's really familiar with it. Parallax Wave plus Nevermaker is kind of a really silly combo if you're a creature playing deck like Littlefield here with the Mono White Heroic. Lagana Bond Trailblazer is kind of like the greatest heroic creature of all time. It's just an 0-4, which wouldn't doesn't seem very impressive, but it's hard to kill when you're one of the best. I mean, outside of something like Bloodchief's Thirst, like a Bolt can't kill this, but it kills a lot of it just survives a lot. All right, a lot of Thraben Inspectors. You don't see Thraben Inspector a lot. This is a lot different Parallax Wave than I think what we're used to. This is very much a lower to the ground deck. It's got Blade Splicers, Reflector Mages. I like kind of like this. I kind of like this kind of setup over kind of the more like Cloud Blazery sort of lists that I've seen usually. Although I love being a Cloud Blazer, so who knows? All right, launch the fleet. It's gonna just make a ton of creatures here, or maybe just one. I thought they all got launched. I honestly thought they. I think this guy got launched, but they weren't attacking. I'm actually surprised they didn't launch this person, but I guess it's just blocked by the Spectre. All right, here's the wave. Can just kind of soak up all these creatures and kind of buy some time. I think this is not a terrible looking wave for if you're heroic, only because I guess the blue white player doesn't really have a lot of pressure on the board. The Therium Inspectors really don't like they don't they don't really beat down super hard. Although now if you see a Nevermaker, then you can see how broken it really is. Oh. So the trick is that you kind of hold priority and exile all the creatures at once, and then you exile your own Nevermaker. You bounce a Parallax Wave back to your hand, and before the creatures come back, all the wave will just wave everything away. The game has ended. Shoutouts to Kaliak and whoever else bet on the Mono Heroic. They believed. They definitely believed. All right. But don't worry, there'll be more betting in place. I'm sure they'll figure it out. So the top four now is the Sultai Neoform Hermit deck, Blue White Control, Blue White Azorius Wave, Blue White, and then the Is It Dragon deck. Yeah, that was a funny. I mean, they went like double. They went they went double Lodestone Golem. I remember that match. That was funny. That was so funny. All right, just got a report for you because why not? Okay. So we'll watch the quick matchup first. So the next match that we're gonna be betting on the top four is gonna be, um, we're gonna Neoform Hermit versus the Blue Eye Control deck. These people have bet before. I think the Hermit deck did win, but it was very quick. So put in your bet very quickly. That's gonna be the next matchup here. The other side is yes, the Blue White Wave deck versus the Is It Dragon list. We'll probably come back to that at some point for sure. Neoform Hermit pretty well performing so far. A lot of 5-0s. I think it's a product of like just trying to do the most silliest thing you can in the first day, and it is pretty good. It's very consistent. It's really just up to like players to kind of form their removal spells and sort of interaction in very cheap ways. Blue Eye Control, Counterspell is gonna make decks like this a lot. People are gonna want to try this quite a bit, and they do have loads of like interaction in like Mana Leak, Dovin's Veto, Counterspell. Contempt doesn't really do anything here though. The longer the game goes though for the Blue Eye Control deck, the better it probably gets for them. Crushing Drawbridge is gonna give the Hermit Druid haste if they happen to find one. This Hermit Druid deck also plays Neoform, so they can turn their 1-drops into pretty much Druids. So if they have a so it's like kind of having like 8 Hermits basically. If they die somehow, they can play a Postmortem Lunge as well to kind of try to get it back with haste. Phyrexian spells are kind of broken. Found the second blue source, so things like Counterspell are online. All right, here's the Hermit Druid. Crushing Drawbridge can't give it haste. So the kill here is obviously flip your library into your graveyard, and then you want to typically reanimate a Lab Maniac by way of Angels of Glory's Rise, or just maybe just reanimating Lab Maniac itself. Then you want to draw a card somehow. So something like Hapless Researcher is kind of a popular choice. You can also play a Zombie Lady of the Scrolls to just draw a card. All right, they're going for it. What can Blue White do here? We'll see. All right. Narco People's also back, which is silly. Yeah, Phantasmagorian's also a 1-up here, so you can kind of discard a bunch of cards and then try to reform your deck with a Memory's Journey, so if anything goes wrong, that could be kind of a backup plan. To try to maybe just draw onto a Lab Maniac. Did you run just one Dread Return, actually? You can see the whole deck here. The Dread Return's right there on the very bottom. I think they might have discarded it. Okay, so here's the Mana Leak. All right, so now Plan B. There's still a Memory's Journey in the graveyard, so they could definitely just put a Lab Maniac on top, play it, and hope it just lives. That's a plan, I guess. Yeah, I'm looking at the list. me try to guess what's in their hand. I know what's in their hand, actually. Alright, so they're gonna see what they put on top here. I don't know what order they put it on top, but they put Lateral Waste and Lab Maniac. So they're kind of expecting their land to get kind of killed, I guess. So they put a land on top so they can actually cast the Lab Maniac at some point. Okay, here comes the Lab Maniac. If there's another Mana Leak, it's probably over. Alright, here comes Counterspell. That's probably game. I don't know if this Lander Elf is going to beat down fast enough. The last card in the library is a land. Yeah, Shatter the Sky's fine. I don't think it matters at this point. It could actually Field or Ruin. Could have actually Field or Ruined them on their upkeep. Alright, no more cards in the library. Oh, they have another. Oh, they had another Lab Maniac in their hand. So they had two Lab Maniacs. One was in their hand. Do they have another Mana Leak? Azorius Charm. Okay. A redraw. Okay. Postmortem Lunge for the hapless researcher. Oh man, that's game one. The Hermit beat two counterspells. Still did pretty well. Just ran out of counterspells there for blue white. I'm just looking at the blue white list. I'm not sure how like prepared they are for this, but I guess that's the sideboard they could bring in more sort of counter magic. That's really all they have. They don't even have graveyard hate, which is honestly very ambitious. Ambitious is the nice word I want to use. As they have zero pieces of graveyard hate, despite the fact that this deck is the Hammer deck is probably the most popular deck right now, or at least well performing. So it's ambitious. I have real words for it, but I'll just be nice for now. Um, on the other side, being in Sultai colors, you can actually bring in a bunch of different sort of like counter spells, like Swan Song or Spell Pierce, things like that. Or even like kind of like hand hitting cards like Kitesail Freebooter or Mesmeric Fiend, things like that. So game two, Blue White's gonna be into play. Mulligan to five, Blue White did, and and the Hermit deck Mulligan to four. It seems. So I mean, they don't need much. Turn two Druid is pretty decent. Blue White's gotta be on pins and needles pretty much all the time, especially this particular build of it. Just really just hoping for counter spells. So counter this Druid. Gotta flash freeze. Okay. That's one of the few good targets for flash freeze. It's probably Hermit Druid, so it's a nice little touch there. Field of Ruin's actually just wasteland here. Against the Hermit Druid deck. You need to flip your library into your grave, you need to have no basics, so that's actually just insane. Just cut them off a color. I like that. They missed a land drop though. Find another Hermit Druid. Let's see if there's another sort of counter spell. Is there a counter spell? You good? Okay, we're good. Like, yo, you good? Okay. It'd be funny if actually they came up with guttural response. Guttural response would have been actually insane in that spot. Now that I think about it, um, guttural response is a green counter, so it counters blue instance. Maybe it's something to consider if you're a Neoform deck. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, but can you imagine guttural response? By the way, that would have been. All right, blue white missing a bunch of land drops. That's not really what you want to see. The Finnoros get in. Of course, the backup plan for the Druid deck, if everything goes wrong, is just to attack with a bunch of idiots. Um, I approve of that plan for sure. Centaur Guardian can actually pump creatures when it gets threshold, right? Okay. Hmm. So the elf plan is a go. Two Finhorde elves just getting in. I wonder if the blue white deck actually boarded out their wraths. That'd be really funny. Eventually, they could play something, some sort of planeswalker, maybe like a Gideon or something like that, and or if they, what if they're too worried about just tapping out in general? Because I think if you're worried about tapping out, that means that you might not even have wraths in your deck, which is kind of like a weird thing to think about. Or Shadow of the Sky is the 4 mana wrath of choice now. This is almost shatter worthy at some point. Excuse me. Look, okay, there's the wrath. Oh yeah, they could lunge. Lunge is a card too. One card I was sad that got missed actually is disallow. I actually really was sad that disallow was missed a couple hits. But yeah, it's a really good point. Postmortem lunge is in the deck, so sort of a reanimation spell for the druid, and can instantly give it haste. Pretty messed up card, honestly. All right. They tend to tap out for a Dream Trawler, 2 mana up. Probably means they have they're at least representing counter spell. Still no blue mana for the Hermit deck, so they can't really have counterplay with like Swan Song, things like that. Uh, this is probably the best mana base I've ever had with all the pain lands in the form of Llanowar Waste and Yavimaya Coast. There's only, and I guess they have Opulent Palace too, so they only have really 8 sources of blue. Scepter Garden is almost online for sure. Majority of the deck is castable. Except for like Angels of Glory's Rise, really can't cast that. So, but we're not going to see any beatdowns here. The Dream Child is going to take over. Going to game 3. Blue White deck kind of staved off a really nasty mulligan, but both decks had a mulligan there. So, but they had like double Druid, so they kind of did their thing. I think Field of Ruin might be like the player here. The fact that they were playing just Field of Ruin to begin with is pretty good against the Hermit deck. Maybe something to consider in the future, but that might be too slow. All right, the Hermit deck, Hermit player going to play. Apparently, we just Mana Leak and counter a bunch of Druids, so it could be okay. Okay, Autumn's Veil. This sort of counter magic or comes in the form of things like Swan Song. No like duress like effects, but they do play like freebooters to kind of like look at the hand, steal a card. So most of their like sideboard cards are actually versus like artifact removal. So things like wilts and natural states, things like that, which is expected because most graveyard hate or most hate against this deck is artifacts like Sorcerer's Spyglass and Weathered Runestone, things like that. All right, get a Neo form for the Druid. So it's already online. So now, if you're the blue-white deck, you kind of just have to have a counterspell for the. You can really only have one counterspell here, and that's for the Dread Return. If there's like a Swan Song, the game might be over right now. Okay, double Narcomoeba. Does white deck is Oust? Absolutely not. I'm not sure if Oust is legal, but if it is, let me know. Definitely, like day one decks are gonna be a little rough around the edges. But this Neoform deck is probably maybe the most polished out of all of them so far. All right. Doan's Veto can't be countered. Not bad. Can't Swan Song that. All right. So where's the plan B? Um, it looks like the Memory's Journey is right here. So let's see what the new plan is. 3 cards left in the hand. If I had to look. Hmm. We'll just wait and see what happens. I guess there's like 4 lunges in the graveyard. I mean, that's public information for sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it might be just the plan might be just the Memory's Journey back a bunch of Lab Maniacs and just try to resolve one of them. Let's see. So they got back a land, 2 lands and a Lab Maniac. That was the Memory's Journey pile. All right, here comes Lab Maniac. Because these to resolve to win. Okay. 3 cards left in the hand. I'm not sure what they could be. Perhaps more Lab Maniacs. They didn't get the extra blue source in case they got, like, Stone Rain or whatever. All right, there's the land. Yeah, House would be a really nice addition, though. I agree. But, day 1 decks. What are you going to do? All right, there's a Researcher. Perhaps they have Researcher, what do you call it? Lab Maniac. This might be over. We'll see. All right, Lab Maniac, blue open, so there might be a Swan Song. Counterspell. Swan Song. Was there a mana leak? Dovin's Veto. Dovin's Veto of the Swan Song. That's it. Blue White does it. Who needs removal? Counter magic flowing. All right. Wow, the 5%. Look at look at its prediction. 95% had all their money in Neoform Hermit, but Blue Eye Control is gonna take it. Wow. Nice bets. Nice betting. You did it, Blue Eye Control enthusiast. 11K. Congrats. Way to play the odds. So Blue Eye Control on into the finals of the first F&M of season 19. They'll play the winner of this match, Blue White Wave versus Blue Red Dragons. I'm not sure what game that we're in, but they are in the middle of sideboarding, it seems. This is game three. We'll do a quick bet. We'll do a quick bet. Quick bet. Quick bet. Try to set up the prediction really quick. Um, I don't know who wins this actually. This is a very mid-rangey battle, but feel free to bet. Looks like Murpatty was on the draw here. Thraben Inspector. I don't know how good this Thraben Inspector really is. Like I said, aside from other like wave decks that we've seen before, this is a little lower to the ground in terms of like value creatures. Blaze Spicer is a new one, so that's a lot of fun. Yeah, you're totally fine watching, no big deal. But his dragon deck is, I mean, impressed so far. 8 counterspells is nothing to scoff at. Counterspell and Silumgar Scorn. I mean, that's always a good time. And the mana looks really nice. Right, Birth of Meletis. Interesting card to have in the deck, but I guess it's like meant to hit land drops. It gets basic planes. That's sad. Sad wording there. Thunderbreak Reach on turn 4. Pretty good against wave. It does. Well, it would take 3 damage to kind of wave it away. So, I mean, you get a little bit of value out of it, I guess. I'm just doing Discord things. All right. So the dragon gets a deck stoned here, but no big deal. Get a clue out of it, and you domed him for 3. But the Meletis gains 2 back. Didn't crack my clue. Oh. All Alright, Blade Splicer. I love Blade Splicer. I'm actually pretty excited to play Blade Splicers. But it's gonna get Silver score and showing a Glorybringer. I think it's a slight advantage for the Dragon deck to have like a bunch of counter spells against this blue-white wave deck. The wave deck is mostly creatures, I would say. Alright, here comes the Glorybringer. Wonder if they'll actually eat a creature. I'm not sure if it's even worth it at this point. But I mean, Glorybringer's players love exerting. It looks like they're not. You definitely win this race. Alright, the clue gets sacrificed. Alright, here comes the Brago. For infinite value here, but it does pale in comparison to the Glorybringer. In fact, they'd probably just die to the Glorybringer. As the Glorybringer just exert onto the Brago before blocks. Maybe Merpatty has an answer here. Actually, Merpatty is also playing Counterspell, so it's not the worst thing. Or here's a Thunderbreak Regent. Interesting. He definitely have to exert on his Brago. No Counterspell for Merpatty. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a great play, just to get it exerted on by the Glorybringer. I guess it forces them to exert it, so they tap out. I just had a Brain Blast. I look up a card real quick. Oh, it is legal. Brain Blast. Later deck list, later deck list. Brain Blast, later. So another semi. Blue Eye Control beat the Neo Hermit deck. That was a really good match. Just counterspell spam, basically. But it was good. A lot of back and forth. Game 2 was a complete mess, but Blue Eye kind of got out of that scot-free. For in the league with dreams. Don't let your memes be your dreams. Okay, here's a Nevermaker. It looks like it's just gonna be played. Nevermaker's interesting on this board. I don't know if it's not really good against the Glorybringer. Um, it's okay against a Thunderbreak Creature, but they're gonna take 3 to never make it. So unless they have like a wave, it's gonna be good in the next turn. So really, you want to kill it now. So okay, here comes the Draconic Roar. Alright, it's gonna target the Thunderbreak Regent. And that's it. Blue-White Wave succumbs to the Dragon deck. Dragon's onto the finals. Another underdog in terms of betting. It's gonna take this. Man, whoever's betting the underdogs is pretty good. Doing pretty well. Yeah, you really need a wave there. Alright, awesome. I believed. Maybe maybe Tom or maybe Bear was right. Maybe Jace is just the best player of all time. The tribal master getting it into the finals. Forgot to All right, so we got our finals: blue-white control against blue-red dragons. Counterspell versus counterspell into the finals. So let's see. So place your bets. This will be the last match of the night. One more bet to go. This is basically a counterspell war. I mean, everyone thought that like Hermit Druids were really broken, but in the end, it's a counterspell mirror. Blue Eye Control and Blue Red Dragons both have counterspell. Blue Red Dragons has 8 counterspells in the form of Silumgar Scorn, but Blue White Control, not to be outdone, is also playing Mana Leak, Dovin's Veto, Logic Knot. So, who likes long, grindy matchups? This is probably it. The end game engines. Blue White has a couple of Planeswalkers. Blue Red obviously has Dragons, Glorybringer, Thunderbreak Regent, things like that. Dream Trawler also for the Blue White deck. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. It's gonna be a lot of back and forth, I'm sure. Frantic Inventory, the first spell being played by Blue White. Pretty much the accumulated knowledge of our time. Alright, someone's gotta tip the balance here on these bets. 1.5, 1.5 is just a 50-50, basically. 30 seconds left to bet. Just about. Land drops are going to be really important. If you miss a land drop, it might be really bad for you. Okay, Zorius Charm's going to draw a card. Aggressive Stubborn Denial here from the Blue-Red Dragon deck. Very aggressive, kind of sensing weakness. And they're going to play a Dragon Sword. That's actually kind of an advantage in this matchup where they're going to get the ramp a little bit. All right, 1.7 versus 1.7. All right. So, nothing's going on, but that's okay. Realistically, it's up to the dragon deck to kind of like have a threat and then protect it with a counter spell. Because really, the blue white control deck can only play one counter spell at a time, probably in the form of like a mana leak. So here we go. Here's a Thunderbreak Regent. All right, and it's gonna actually add a counter to the Dragon Sword, so they can draw a card. Blue white does not prefers not to counter it here. The mana base is a little awkward. Final Fantasy second blue source, but they only had like really one blue, so maybe they were holding like a counter spell and they couldn't cast it. This this deck is kind of wild in the sense that they're playing like they had like 2 mountains in the face of just having a million like double blue spells that you want to really cast in turn 2. Baker would like tear his hair out looking at this mana base, I think. It really is just kind of a YOLO mana base. Alright, Condemn. Condemn and Thunder just never feels super good. We're gonna have a counter spell for it. Let's see if they mana leak back. Oh, they have Sun Condemn. So they're gonna take 6 damage and double condemn this guy. Okay. Your life total is a resource when you're playing these kind of control decks, so it's probably not a terrible idea to go to 14 already. I do like the Yargle ops. I don't like foil cards most of the time, but I do like those ops. So not much going on. Now we're kind of in the mid game where everyone's afraid to just do anything, so they're just gonna keep drawing, playing a little draw go here. Who will blink first? That's really the question. I think it probably benefits the blue white deck more. They were behind a lot of this game, but now they're trying drawing lands, slowly getting back in this game. One, I if you want to look at advantages, I think the blue white deck definitely has more like card selection in terms of like opt, factor fiction, planeswalkers here. It resolves. That's kind of surprising. Jason's gonna draw a card here. Jace Memory Adept, a pretty great card in general. Probably one of the better planeswalkers we've probably had. Maybe maybe the best Jace we've had. We've had Jace Balerion, which is pretty decent Jace. We always have Jace the Guild Pack, but that's apparently not viable here. Burst Lightning Kicker onto the Jace. Gonna take it to one. Not sure if it's really worth it. Honestly, this is like a win condition. In like four to five turns. Like you can just start like zeroing your opponent. There's zero pressure on the Jace here against Jace. Jace the player versus Jace the planeswalker. All right, they're gonna keep drawing cards. Yeah, he's been a big Skin Invasion fan from before. All right. I'm an aggressive Chase Memory Deck player. I would just start zeroing immediately. Honestly, you're definitely up on cards now, and like, the Is it deck's gonna be at 40 cards in their library. They're gonna cycle Sweltering Suns. So I'm down for just fireballing my opponent a couple of times with the Memory Adept. I want to end this game quick. All right, never mind. They just want to draw cards. Kind of load up the hand. Both strategies seem okay, but I like ending games quicker, sooner than later. All right, this Dream Trawler probably has at least two counterspells backing it up. We're sending Kicker onto the Jace Memory Adept in response to the Dream Trawler. Interesting. Okay, it's gonna die. I mean, they have a new win condition here in the Dream Trawler, so I can see how they just don't really care. All right, Blue Eye Control gonna take game one. It looked pretty dire for a second. They missed the land drop. That stubborn denial, kind of that early stubborn denial was kind of a risk, but didn't really pay off. I guess the blue white wanted to fight this deck pretty well. Celestial Purge is probably the best card. Takes out pretty much every dragon they can. It can. Dovin's Veto also extra counter magic, as well as like Spell Pierce or even Teferi to make their spells completely uncounterable. The deck can bring in Counterflux, their own sort of like uncounterable counterspell. So that'd be kind of fun to see when they pull it off. Triangle's Prerogative to draw more cards and maybe an extra Stubborn Denial. They have a lot of really dead cards. Like those burst lights did not look very good. Draconic War is not bad, but I don't think it's where you really want to be. Scrabbling Claws could be okay too. It kind of eats up like frantic inventories. So it does cycle at worst, so it's just kind of something to do. But yeah, can the Dragon deck kind of just fight back here? No, I don't think so. This is the first time we have every like temple though, and I think all the Czech lands legal. I'm pretty sure they all are legal. Yeah, all 10 of them are legal, so that's a first. And we have also have come with the Shadowlands cards too. I think like Game Trail, Foreboding Ruins, and I think the green white one is legal too. So we're getting there in mana bases. We also have all the Snowlands, and because it's a new set, so they're all common. So they're definitely thinking about us. Yeah, it's probably the best mana we've ever had for sure. It looks so ugly though. They're like weirdly washed out. I don't like the look of it. What are we gonna do? And Astrolabe. Yeah, that's true. There's snow plains and snow mountains, and of course the snow dual lands. So you definitely have your fill of Astrolabes if you want. All right, here comes the turn 3 Dragon's Horde. Not really impressive, but it's gonna resolve. Gonna get a little ramp time. All right, you're gonna Field of Ruin the Snowland. That has no real relevance, honestly. In terms of like mana screwing your opponent, I don't know if it really matters. They'll probably just find Island. There's nothing else to really. If anything, this gives the blue white players a second white source, which is probably what they really want to do for things like Shatter the Sky or whatever, or Dream Trawler. Dream Trawler is like a double white spell, I believe. Oh, they're gonna miss another land drop. That's not really great, but it worked out last time, so we'll see what happens. They do have the Shatter the Sky still. All right, Dragon deck, just chilling, just hanging out. Blue white please with another land drop. Gonna move the discard. Oh no, this is not good. Discards a Dream Trawler. Oh god, that seems terrible. All right, D of the deck. No one. It's a big stare down right now. I mean, even the fact they've missed now, it looks like 3 land drops for the blue white deck. The Is deck has not done a single thing. What are the cycling duels called, land? I don't know. There's Canyon Sloth and Shelter Thicket. I refuse to call it bike land, but I think they just call them cycling duels. But yeah, we only have like 3 of them, right? 3 out of the 5. All right, they're gonna play a Sarkin. They're gonna test the waters here. His bike land works. I'm sad. That makes me sad. All right, gets Dovin's vetoed. I think if this was the plan, if you have to try to resolve a spell, you might as well just start jamming things. All right, the 4th land comes. So now blue white can probably potentially have 2 counter spells in hand. Yeah, we missed blue black and blue white, obviously. Okay, here comes the Glory Bringer. It resolves. But it's gonna get purged. Stubborn Denial, though. Oh, man. It's probably getting counterspelled, but this is fine. You just want them to kind of waste their spells a little bit. gonna get counterspelled. This deck play should play Sarkhan's Triumph. That'd be pretty great. Sarkhan's Triumph is actually a card I've always wanted to play. It's an instant speed tutor. It seemed pretty great in this kind of matchup. Alright, end of turn Fact or Fiction. What are we gonna counter this? It looks like they're scorning. They're showing Niv Mizzet, the Fire Mind. Elimination over Factor Fiction? Debatable, for sure. I would say the Dragon's Horde card though is more of a pet card than anything, but it does like get a little value. Another Factor Fiction in the turn. Looks like they're trying to fight over the card advantage engines. Oh, it gets counterfluxed. Oh, what is it? Behold the Multiverse or something like that. Behold the Beyond or something. That's not bad. The Foretell one, right? Yeah, I don't mind the Horde, honestly. It'd be kind of silly, but I wonder if the deck would want something like a Sprite Dragon. That'd be pretty interesting. The Sprite Dragon is a blue-red dragon, and it's probably like the better mana base to have a blue-red dragon. It's kind of weak, though. You don't really have a lot of like spells. You have a lot. You do have to play like a ton of dragons. Yeah, it's a little guy. Who would not want a little Sprite Dragon? Imagine a deck of like Sprite Dragon, Thunderbreak Regent, and like I don't know, like Glorybringer. That sounds dope. That just sounds like fun. It's very unassuming, but it does grow pretty fast if you can protect it. All right, another Field of Ruin on another blue-red land. Doesn't really matter at this point. The colors are pretty good on both sides. Neither deck playing things like Urza's Factory or sort of actual good lands that will do things. They're just straight up just blue-white versus blue-red. The deck thing is real. I mean, the blue-white deck does have Jace Memory Adept as the win condition, so thinning the deck more and more, slamming a Jace, and then just kind of start milling. You know what this deck really needs is oh, it's a dinosaur. I thought it was a dragon. I thought it turns into a dragon. But Fountain of Ichor wouldn't be that bad. I like the lands. I like the artifacts that turn into like creatures. All right, Niv Mizzet's gonna get fought over here. Counterspell for counterspell. Full art. Full art versus regular bordered. So white counterspell. Or we lapse of certainty. Dovin's Veto. All right. The original counterspell still here. Oh, that was fun. But now look at this: blue white down to one card in hand. All the frantic inventory, or I'm sorry, the factor fixes were countered. So I mean, it's not looking too bad if blue the Izadek can just draw anything. Here's a Glorybringer. That is something. This is the best part. It resolved the Dragon Hordes will draw 2 extra cards. Very good in this scenario. Where are you Dragon Horde haters now, huh? Where are the Horde haters now? I still got all these cards. Looks like this might be a Wrath effect or a Gideon. Alright, looks like they're gonna try to shatter the sky. Not the worst thing in the world. They would draw a card off of this. Alright, they're gonna maybe try to protect it. So we draw two. Look for a counterspell for this. I would rather just have the Glorybringer, but yep, they get an extra card, so not the worst thing. Alright, a Thunderbrick Regent appears. The dragon deck is a bit threat light, I would say. There's only actually 11 creatures and um one planeswalker, so a bit light on threats. Ooh, here comes a Jace Memory Adept. It would be a 3-turn clock. Although I guess a Thunderbreak Regent would just attack the Chase. Alright, counterspell for counterspell again. Here it comes. Draw another card. Can we see another counterspell? It resolves. So yeah, you go up definitely to protect the Thunderbreak or the to protect it from Thunderbreak Regent. So you definitely have to attack the Jace here. It does represent like a 3-turn clock. Alright, Niv Mizzet the Firemind. What a combo. Niv Mizzet plus Dragon Sword. So now they can actually take out the Jace right here. With a Curiosity! It's over. Here comes the loop. So Curiosity, every time you draw a card, every time your creature deals damage, opponent draws a card, and then they have a card with the Dragon Sword. There it is. Chase out of nowhere. Chase is a Dragon Master, wins game 2. We're going to game 3. We're going to game 3. Blue White missed a lot of land drops. They missed at least 4 land drops. So it was a bit rough for them at the start. I think it kind of bit them in the butt later. That was actually like really fun. Like I'm really not in the camp of like countering like factor fictions like that, but they fought over all of them, and it kind of like paid off in the long run. The Dragon Swords drew like a couple of cards, and they just got like slowly ahead. So that was actually really well played. All right. Oh, is it mold to 5 here? I think and then blue white deck kept 7. All right, turn 1 opt. Return 2 opt. Get stubbed! Again, fighting the card advantage engines. Blue white! No way! Blue white kept the one lander? Or they just F6? What happened? Did you F6? Tell me, did you F6? Soup Knopf, you have to tell me you F6. This is wild. What a wild match. One lander control was a real match. Oh no. Let them play. Play the lies. Play the lies. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. This is a fun finals. Screw you, hermits. We got we got good old counterspell spam. This is the best finals for a week 1, a day 1 that we can actually have. It's hard. It's really hard to have like a control deck like good enough for like a day 1. But I mean, you could have just like roundabout cards and just kind of get there. Counterspell is really good. Oh, they're gonna go Glorybringer here. They could actually have another Stubborn Denial for a 2-mana counterspell. Looks like they have Mana Leak. Let's see if they have a stub. Oh, get Force Spiked. Everyone's losing it over the Dragon deck. The fans are losing it right now. What can Blue White do? They could have like Celestial Purge, things like that. But he would have liked to do it when they were tapped out, so it's clear they didn't. They have Condemn. If they have Condemn, then they had to wait, obviously. Put the pain. Here comes the Dragon Sword. The innocuous Dragon Sword actually was the key in that game, too. Glorybringer is great. I do love Glorybringer. So there are 2 cards left for Jace. They're kind of just like flooding out a little bit. If this Glorybringer does die, I mean, it might just be a little rough. If Blue White can just start drawing lands. Okay, it looks like they have a Blessed Alliance, it looks like. Okay. Maybe you have a Silumgar Scorn. Okay, Scorn. You have a dragon, so it's just straight counterspell. Alright, 2 more attacks. 4th land, so Shatter the Sky online. We'll see if they have it. Alright, but that Glorybringer did a lot of work. Get a redraw from the Shatter the Sky. But tapped out. Okay, another Dragon's Horde. If you have a dragon here, you just jam it because you get the redraw with the Dragon's Hordes here. So it's a Niv Mizzet. Okay, okay, not too bad. If they had a Dizzy Spell, they could Dizzy Spell for the Curiosity, and that'd be game. But they probably don't. They're probably not Dizzy Spellers. All right, another Shadow to the Sky, another redraw. Glorybringer would be pretty nice here. Or maybe another Niv Mizzet. All right, Glorybringer. 2 more counters each. This is 4 cards on these Dragon Hordes. These are so many cards on these Dragon Hordes. Oh no! A Dracanicore is lethal. Just saying. Where are the Dragon Hordes haters now? Where are the haters? I can't believe this blue white deck hit the 1-lander or F6 on turn 1 after getting stubbed on that opt. What an amazing stubborn denial on that opt. That really changed the whole setting of this game. I don't. Okay, here's. Wait. Not over yet. Teferi, that doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually do anything, but there's a counterspell anyway. I don't know. It's just funny. Dragon Sword is kind of funny, but it did enable a the kill on turn game too. It's just so funny. It drew so many cards. There you go. Blue red dragons takes it over blue white control. Where's your god now? Where's your god now? Hermit druid. 8 wag. Dragons. Yeah. Yeah. What a match. What a match. What a match. Just how we all planned it, right? Just how we all planned day 1. Day 1, Penny Dreadful, if you're not playing, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? What are you doing with your lives? you're not in this. If you're not in this hypeness. 8 power spell speed 4 confirmed. The best deck of all time. Honestly, they could go greedier. They could play like Jet Dragons and play like Ojutai, Order of Ojutai, I think. I was looking at that just now. Alright, let's look at a list. We'll just look at the top list and then I gotta eat. So here it is, the winner. Just refresh. Lost round one. A very J Mecha run. Lost round one and then ran off 8, or I'm sorry, can't count. Seven rounds to win. But yeah, here's the creature suite here. Glorybringer, Thunderbreak Regent. Thunderbreak Regent is really good. I mean, it bolts you if you touch it, so that's great. It's actually reasonable against Wave, I guess. Visit the Firemind with the One of Curiosity just to get out of some sticky situations, I guess. The One of Varix, I mean, could be anything, but when you're flooded like we saw, it's 8 power for 7 mana. Burst Lightning. Burst Lightning is fine over Chain Lightning. You really do want to kill Hummer Druids at instant speed sometimes. Draconic War is one of the big payoffs of the deck, I'm sure. Just this basically Searing Blaze, I guess. Silumgar scoring another good payoff. Just having 8 counter spells is pretty great. Stubborn Owl, pretty great with everything that's kind of like 4 power for the most part. So, Sweltering Suns could board wipes. Sarkin Mattress also makes a 4/4. Also just attacks. Why not? Mana base, something to scoff at here. Raven Form. Interesting card. I guess you could like foretell it on turn 2 and then just have like a 1 mana sort of like it kills a lot of creatures. Like I guess like siege rhinos, like big idiots that honestly blue red decks do struggle against. So I mean it's not a bad idea. And then like, a Nibizzet can just ping it later. Dragon's Claw for the red decks. Counter Flux for those like control matches we were just talking about. Graveyard Hate here, Scrabbling Claws. More board wipes. I like Dragon's Pro. I like this deck. I mean, it's pretty good. I would like a little more threats, but I mean, who am I? Who am I to like talk about this deck? I mean, I cannot comment on much about this deck because look, they ran it off. Yeah, Dragon's War was really nice. Dragon's Sword is, we didn't really talk about Dragon's Sword at all, but yeah, Dragon's Sword, kind of a role player here. It gets you from 3 to 5, so you can cast your Glory Bringers pretty quickly, but also just lets you draw cards in that late game. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, fun tournament overall. I'm not gonna go over the rest of the decks because I do have to go. But thank you guys for watching. If you're not following the stream, hit that follow button. I'll try to be on tomorrow. I can't guarantee it because my sleeping schedule is completely terrible. So maybe I'll have a new deck. I don't know. We'll see. My deck did not do very well, but I mean, that was only my like 5th time playing it. So yeah, no, I'm gonna go eat. I'm actually gonna go eat. So I'm like really hungry. But yeah, fun tournament. The big tournament. I think it's like one of our bigger opening tournaments of all time. I want to say. I don't have stats like that, but I'm just gonna pontificate and say that it's true. But do we have anyone to raid? Not really. Guess we're just gonna end. Guess we'll just end stream. Alright, well. Thank you all for joining me here. All hail the Dragon Overlord for sure. That dragon deck can get better. And that's the thing. That's the scary part, right? The dragon they can just get better. Every deck can just get better. So shout out to Counterspell. Really, I mean, really, the king is Counterspell, if you want to think about it. A Counterspell mirror in the finals. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Go play Penny Dreadful right now. Right now. Bye.